perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're burying me, burying me. Yeah, you're burying me, burying me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy by the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my head again. Is it wrong? Is it right? It's like I've won my final war without a fight. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You bury me, bury me. I know you bury me, bury me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going crazy by the light. It's got me hypnotized. You've got me hypnotized. Get you out of my head, get you out of my head again.
Oh my god. What did I do?
Hurricane, a tidal wave. Essence perfect, life looks brilliant. Give me more of this. I'm out of control, about to blow, and I've been caught in the undertow. So toxic, but I can't get enough. You're burying me, burying me. Yeah, you're burying me, burying me. You've got me hypnotized, push me out of myself. You've got me hypnotized. I can see, I can hear, going
I'm doing all the right things.
Yes, we are. Yes, we
Welcome
are.
to the Honor Ramble. I should not be finishing my dinner, but I'm your host, Auntie Collins. This is Melball Collins. Look at this. Women of Honor. Here we go.
We do only one women's show on this. Or no, two. It's fun though.
Well,
I had a lot of fun. I
you had a
really
lot of
enjoyed
fun.
this show, Auntie. I had a lot of fun because I've recognized a lot of people, and now I'm starting to recognize a little story building happening. I had a title match. We had some champions show up. I'm happy. How are
I
you doing
love.
today, though?
Listen, a happy Melball Collins is good for me because what's good for business is a happy Melball.
Yes.
Right? Amen. I'm all right. I'm feeling a little weird. I don't know. It's Thursday. It's weird. Everything's weird. I had to reschedule my haircut for Saturday. It's
Ooh,
and you just got a haircut. Your hair looks nice.
thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out my girl Michelle. Got it done on a nice little place on the south side that I can't remember the name of. The joys of being a passenger princess and not having to know where I'm going.
Oh yes. Praise be to He. Yes,
Yes.
passenger princess as always. Shout out to our overlord, Bobby Munson over here. Thank you so much. Running
Here comes the money.
we get paid for this?
That was my old nickname for Bobby, Mr. Money Munson.
Oh, I like that. You should go back
Mhm.
to that moniker. Bobby, it'll bring you fruition and
Good luck.
good luck. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
But yeah, this was a pretty all right show. However, I had to like ask my husband. I was like, I feel like I'm such a critic because everything I look through the lens now of like, how do I discuss this? How do I pros cons? Like, how do I kind of disassemble it? Which is good. And if you also do that here, great for you. Sometimes it takes the fun out of it.
I feel that. I feel that. I've gotten to a point like that with one of our shows on Andre Melball Wrestling Talk with Marigold. It's a newer company, but I'm at that point where it's like, yeah, I think it's because I've been spoiled with so much great wrestling all over the place that when I start to see some inconsistencies, I'm like, this is unacceptable.
um yeah, I try to not watch wrestling that makes me physically angry, but sometimes the show makes me physically angry and I feel my muscles tense up and then I'm trying to figure out why my hands hurt because I'm clenching my fists so hard and my teeth are grinding.
Oh,
It's because things piss me off. But the show didn't piss
yeah.
me off as much. I think I'm just mostly an irritable person on Thursdays. I don't know. I don't know about you, because like Canada is a different beast than the
Yeah.
United States. And more so now, I feel like by Thursday, my day job has me having so much anxiety that I get till
Mhm.
Thursday evening and I'm like, can I even relax and watch this show? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that. I felt that at the gym this morning when it started to get busy.
Yeah.
That was
See?
my time when there's too many people and I'm just like, ugh, people, why are you in my space?
Does your gym have the thing where it's like the people who made the New Year's resolutions, they're going to go to the gym and work out and all the things, and
Oh yeah.
by this time they're starting to dwindle away?
Yeah. Yeah, the new year, new me people kinda. But they do have like my gym's trying to get more people through the door because they just opened a new fancy gym down the road and they're wanting to bring in people so they have this like competition going on right now, very similar
Oh,
to Rich King's Shredamania, where it's like you're monitored by the trainer and they show you some workouts, they give you some nutrition tips, and at the end of I think 8-week, 9-week period. The winner gets like a $1,000 cash prize. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Interesting. That's wild.
Get a
Well,
win a grand.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, if you're already going to be there and put in the time, why not?
Exactly.
I
Exactly. Why
mean,
not? Good marketing.
but my gym currently still has the yuppies who, because I go to the gym to work out and then I leave. Right? I go to the gym to work out and leave.
Same. Mhm.
But you see like the people floating who just like kind of like meander to machine to machine. I go and I do like 2 machines and then I'm going for a specific thing.
Mhm.
And they just meander and you just see them like going all over the gym and like the, hour that you're there and it's like
Mhm.
who
Yeah.
who am I to judge what you're doing? But they
And
won't be
like
back.
I'm a very friendly person in that gym too because I used to work there. So it's
Oh.
always like I feel I have to really be nice. So there's a lot of people who actually do like come up and interrupt my workouts and be like, I see you here all the time. I was like, it probably took a lot of courage for that person to come
Yeah.
up to me and say something. So I'm just
Yeah.
gonna but but I've made some cool friends who have become wrestling friends as well. Now they come to the wrestling shows with me, and I met my gym mentor, Chuck, who's a 70-year-old bodybuilding world champion. So, like, hi, beautiful.
Hi, baby. Hey.
See, I can't complain, although I will,
Yeah.
because some people just shouldn't be talking to me.
Well, I enjoy my Thursdays because I get to spend it with y'all and with you, Melball. So, but yeah, let's just jump right in. This is episode 104 of Ring of Honor. We open the show with Wheeler Yuta versus a
Mm,
returning Fuego del Sol.
mhm,
Wheeler Yuta walking out from the crowd like
mhm.
his death riding buddies. Um, his theme, it gets me pumped, but sometimes I hear the sling and I think it's gonna be Jay White. It's not. But I got a
Yeah,
little
never
bit too
disappointed.
excited. Yeah. But this match, what a interesting way to open up, I guess. Wheeler Yuta has not been really on Ring of Honor since losing that Pure Championship. He's had a couple singles bouts here and there, but commentary kept saying, "Oh, what a great champion, the longest reigning Pure champion." Do you remember that Wheeler Yuta was out for like 8 months? 8 months with a concussion, and nobody knew where he was. No one had any update, no mention of where he was. Just best Pure champion alive. No, he was not. They're just mocking me at this point. Ugh. But Wheeler Yuta back on Ring of Honor television. It's not a bad thing. Fuego del Sol back on ROH television. Not a bad thing. Haven't seen Fuego del Sol since episode 81 of Honor Club. But this match was meant to be a banger. Before I jump in, what did you think of this opening contest?
I knew who Wheeler Yuta was. When he came out, though,
Mm-hmm.
it took me like a dial up from the 90s amount of time to figure out who he was, which person he was. I mean, obviously he
Yeah.
was the topless one, but I was looking at his face and I'm like, the face isn't right to me. What's wrong with the face? The, I think what the problem is that he's trying to do two things at once and they are combating for
Mm-hmm.
me. He's got the lumberjack beard with the like, tonight will be the night that I will fall for you hair. And it's just combating. It's so bad. That being said, though, I was excited. I didn't know that he disappeared with the title for 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that seems to be a thing that happens with AEW people. They just take a
Yikes.
title and disappear with it. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of tracks for behavior. Um, Yeah. Take us into it.
STG
I
is right.
gotta.
That was such a great impression. I don't need to ever do an impression ever again. That was great.
Please do. It gives me something to play off of.
But
I
oh yeah.
I've realized also I haven't seen Fuego del Sol. I realized I thought it was like the Fuego from the main event. When I saw Fuego del Sol, I just thought I was remembering the wrong person. Because I know I'd
False.
seen Fuego before, but I haven't seen Fuego del Sol. I really enjoyed it though. Take us into it, lady.
Let me. What? How old is he?
Oh, I have no idea.
1995. So that's 29, almost 30. But
I am not the one to check math with. Anyone in the chat can tell you I am not the one to double check math with.
but yeah, he's 1995. And the other Fuego is in his 40s. So,
Oh, dang.
very different guys.
Yeah.
This one is from Alabama.
Oh,
Mobile, Alabama is where he's billed from. Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile.
There was a point in time in AEW Dark and Dark Elevation that Fuego del Sol tagged with Fuego 2. So Fuego 1 and 2. It was Cody Rhodes under the Fuego del Sol mask.
Fuego. Would that
Yes, Mobile, Alabama. You like my accent? It's from Mobile, Alabama. Do I sound convincing?
Man. From the deep south.
From the deep south. But yes, Wheeler Yuta held that friggin' championship while he was out with concussion for 244 days. He only had 3 title defenses. And in this amount of time, in 206 days, Lee Moriarty has had already 5 title defenses. The previous time that Wheeler Yuta held the belt for 111 days, he had 4 defenses. So for half the amount of time, I don't know. I just, how I feel about the Bureau Championship and that last title run, the fact that they had mentioned that made me want to cry my eyes out. This felt like a hate crime to me and me alone, because the Pure Championship is what gets me watching Ring of Honor, because that's the reason why I watch Ring of Honor is the Pure Championship. But this match was a banger to watch. If you want to watch a banging opening match, this is how you bang it out. The slap of honor. There was no handshake this time. It seems to be less handshakes than usual. But we started with slaps. Wheeler Yuta. I don't know why I'm yawning. What is going on? Why is not enough oxygen going to my brain? Jeez. Wheeler Yuta really having some powerful hard hits. The work that they are doing with the Death Riders is obvious here. Using that full senton. So many high impact suplexes and slams. This is a different Wheeler Yuta than what we have seen in Ring of Honor before. I liked when this match kicked up speed towards the end. But in the end, Wheeler Yuta did grab a length of chain from under the mat because he could not win this match without cheating. And before the ref could stop, he began to choke Fuego del Sol. And there was blood post match, right? That
Mhm.
he's continuing to beat the ever living piss out of Fuego del Sol after this match,
Mhm.
and there's blood. Why are we still murdering people? You won the match. I don't get it. Is this cinema? I don't know. But no
Is
one
that
came
what
to
the
help.
Death Riders do on AEW? Is that what they do now?
Murder people.
I ask because I don't watch, so I'm like, it may be
Yeah.
that he's trying to do that
They
here.
just they
Yeah.
just like to murder.
Oh,
But no one came to help Fuego del Sol, which just means that Wheeler Yuta went off and wandered through the crowd like he's going back to doing errands. Came in, whipped some
mhm.
ass, and left. I just don't understand the whole Fuego being pinned and then going back after him to murder him. I don't know. I don't know what that does for me.
It's very cheap heat.
But it was a great match.
Unnecessary.
So
Mhm.
I don't know. But from this point, we jump right into our first women's match. We
Mhm.
have Rachel Ellering taking on the scary as hell Abaddon. What did you think of this match, Melball?
I freaking loved it. I freaking loved it. I am one of those people who loves storytelling, whether it's long-term storytelling, whether it's short-term storytelling. I actually find myself more impressed by the short term because if you're able to
Mhm.
just pull something out, just randomly going into the ring with somebody, I find it more impressive. Just because it shows that you have that more, what's the word? Improvis. Oh my God. Improvis. What is it? You can improvise.
Improvisation? Yes.
You
Yes.
can do the
Yes.
thing on the fly.
Mhm.
Um, I I like creepy shit. So like I saw Abaddon and I was like, yes, she looks like a monster and I love it. And then you have Rachel Ellering, who in her own right, she this gear in particular reminded me of what was that popular basketball team in the 80s? Globetrotters?
The Harlem Globetrotters?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that. So she in herself was like a cool character. It felt like an episode of Scooby-Doo, where one
Mhm.
of the Globetrotter heroes was going after one of the villains, and I loved it. I like the handshake. We got the handshake with these two. It was a little bit of a tug of war afterwards to start, which again started the story, which I loved. Um, there was what did I write here? I've incompleted a thought. Okay. Ellering, she missed the squish, which is that senton. I love that
Mhm.
she calls it the squish, first of all. It's just because that would feel a lot more than a squish.
Yeah.
Um, Meteora from Abaddon in the corner was super cool, partially because I'm starting to figure out what a Meteora really is.
Mhm.
And I like seeing it because it was so quick, so fast, and I don't really see it usually when I see it in the Japanese stuff that I watch, it's usually in the middle of the ring on the floor. So seeing it in the turnbuckle was a cool kind of change of pace there. The fisherman hook suplex by Ellering, followed by the squish for two, was fun. I appreciated that they showed off the athleticism of Rachel Ellering in this against the equal athleticism of Abaddon, but how Abaddon combines the creepy factor with her wrestling is so perfect. Um, Spike DDT into what they call the Black Dahlia by Abaddon for the win. Oh my
Mhm.
God. I remember when I first saw Abaddon, she wasn't as crisp as she is now.
Mhm.
Not seeing her in between and seeing this now, I'm like, perfection. This was a really fun match for me. I had a lot of fun with this, and I know my friend Mike was going to be very happy to see Rachel. She's one of his favorites and besties.
Mhm. I love Rachel Ellering. Rachel Ellering is one of
Nice.
my favorites and besties. Every time I've seen Rachel Ellering perform, it's always been fantastic. Love her. Always want to see success for her. Now, Abaddon, I wish Abaddon could just squish me, as well. Like, I wish that Abaddon could take a piece of my flesh and I would tell them thank you so much. But this match was every bit of perfect of who is going to go on top. I don't know, but women's wrestling is alive and well. Thank you very much. But what I love about Rachel Ellering is that power that she has, and where Abaddon excels is taking the power dynamic and shifting it, using the creepiness, but also matching that energy, which I absolutely love. Abaddon did a great job against Athena, and that was probably my favorite Abaddon match, but this is close up there because of how Abaddon is responding to Rachel Ellering's big, like it was like she put her whole shoulder into everything, which I truly, truly enjoyed seeing. I know that Rachel Ellering does have like more technical side of wrestling. I love seeing her do that kind of technical wrestling side, the more ground, kind of thing. But all in all, this is a great match to watch. What kind of bothers me sometimes with Ring of Honor and the women's division is that it'll be Ring of Honor talent versus enhancement, or lower card, like proving ground match. So it's like, this is such a breath of fresh air, whether or not you knew that Abaddon was going to get the pin with that Black Dahlia, which that was incredible to watch. But Abaddon taking those chops, laughing, responding in a hard-hitting way, screaming, give me more of it. Hear me, Tony Khan, or else. Come on. But really great match. Absolutely. Here's my problem. I did not like this next match. Why? Is it because I'm allergic to fun? I don't know. So we have a 12-man tag team match of the Outrunners. Clearly so over. Truth Magna and Turbo Floyd teaming with part of the Sons of Texas, the Von Erichs, Marshall and Ross Von Erich, with Top Flights, Dante and Darius Martin. Okay? Then we go over to, now we are introduced to a new tag team called the Fraternity, the Frat House of Griff Garrison, Jack Jameson, Preston Vance, and the Premier Athletes, which is just the same thing, but on a different color and a different font, of the Premier Athletes of Ari Daivari, Tony Nese, and a returning Mark Sterling to round out the whole thing. Who do you think's going to win out of all of this? What storyline are we putting here? Nothing.
I was
Exactly. This match was not for me. This match was definitely not for me, because we have your trios champions in this match. You also have people vying for your tag championships, which I think the Outrunners definitely should take the tag championship from the Sons of Texas, but that's neither here nor there. None of this makes sense. None of it.
no.
Who needs storylines? Come on now. Just throw random people in the ring and see what chaos ensues. Bobby gets it.
I mean, New Japan does it all the time, and it actually does end up with some great stories. But it's like, there needs to be a purpose there initially, an inkling of an idea, a seedling in the rough.
Melball, what did you think of this match?
I called the one team of the frat house and athletes, team frathletes, so that I could understand who they were.
The frathletes.
And we also had that little backstage segment where they officially brought in Jameson and gave him his gear and everything right before here. And I was just like, oh, great. We got the eager beaver and Mr. Jameson. And I thought he actually did really good in this. I was like, he's really over eccentric, very over animated. But his putting in 100% for it
Mm-hmm.
is what makes the rest of his group palatable for me because they're frat boys. Like, they're not a vibe for me.
Yeah.
So, it, Layla Gray also at ringside. Best I've
Oh,
seen her
she
yet.
was wearing a Canadian tuxedo, which I
She
thought
sure was.
you would have probably worn because I think that would have been really cute.
Absolutely. She was wearing a really nice pair of bell bottoms with that halter style denim top. Absolutely.
Loved it.
She did her best work that I've seen tonight because she was everywhere she needed to be and moved when she needed to. It was perfect. Um, Overall, though, this match was chaos. It was too much chaos. And normally, like, glorious, glorious chaos is one of my things. And it can be taken in a very good way, but it can also be in a very bad way. This was a little too much chaos for me.
Yeah.
One thing that I just want to say in general is when you have this many people in a match, you need to show some consideration to the people who are on the floor. Only have one or two guys up on the apron because it even looked like at certain points the camera people were having problems getting the shots between people's
Yeah.
legs and people running. And like with the outrunners on anything, you can't have any cameras there because what's his face starts running back and forth between the corners and you're going to lose a camera. So, yeah, just a little general thing as a fan who's had to deal with that recently at an indie show who had like a 12-man tag match and had all 12 men up on the apron. Hard to
Mm-hmm.
see for your fans. Just remember they're there. Um, but
Just
yeah, like I
remember
wrote
they're
down a
there.
few
Yeah.
moves. Like there was some hyper tagging by team frathletes throughout that seemed to really keep the other team down quite a bit. The Bulldog by Floyd was cool. Yeah,
Nether.
I
I read
mean,
that. I read that as neither regions. What is neither regions? Oh, throw me into
missing
the
the eye.
ocean.
Yeah, I've
Mm.
also dabbled a little bit when I've had to been asked to film at ringside. It's a pain in the butt, but it's a lot easier for me as a little person to weasel around people on the outside of the ring than it is to uncomfortably try to shoot in between someone's legs.
I mean, it's even hard when you're freaking ringside, like front row, and
Mhm.
seeing all of that. What are you seeing? Butts.
I mean, if they're nice butts, it's not a problem, but, like, if they're not, it's
I
a
love a good
problem.
butt though. I love a good butt.
I'm sure if you were on Team Frathlete's side, it wouldn't have been too much of an issue, but the other thing side wouldn't have been so enjoyable.
Hmm.
Um Oh, there was the one point where, that Vance guy, speared Magnum off the apron, like he was inside the ring, bounced off the ropes, speared Magnum, and went through the whole group on the outside. I
Hmm.
really liked it because it was the first time I'd noticed a big spot dive like that, where they
Hmm.
weren't just standing there looking up, waiting for the guy. They were just kind of diddly-daddling around out on the outside, actually doing stuff to make sense for them being there, and I
Hmm.
appreciated that. Um what was it? Oh, I also there was one point where that Jameson guy who I knew was going to be fun got in there with Sterling and they tried to do that outrunner arm elbow drop thing where he's like,
Hmm.
"You son of a bitch." And like this was where I was like, "Yep, the Jameson guy is going to be a good wrestler. He's one of those guys just willing to do the most
Mhm.
outlandish stuff and have fun with it. He's like
Yeah.
your guys' Yano, and I appreciate that. Um,
Yeah, unfortunately.
but yeah, the ending didn't surprise me. I mean, I kind of expected the that's where it was going. There was the only people who I recognized who actually had a story with anything going on, but it was
Mhm.
very one-sided. It almost kind of felt like the showing of the put together of the frat house was a secondary kind of story in here, but not really built on because they didn't really work together so much as they worked with the other athletes.
Yeah.
Team for athletes.
Team for athletes. For athletes, for athletes. I don't know. This match wasn't for me. I won't harp on it. But the for athletes, that's funny. Just putting the frat athletes together. That's great.
It's like Brangelina, but for athletes.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, well, we do go into another match. Um, oh, I didn't even mention the backstage event where they kind of came in all drunk and stuff, and Lexi Nair was annoyed by them, which is are they just going to be drunk guys? I don't know, but
It kind of looks like it. I mean, we
lovely.
need a good fall team though, right? Because they look beefy, but then they like, you know, can be the fall guys for like
Well, that's kind
other
of what the
guys.
premier athletes are, you know?
I feel
At
like
least
it's
that's what they're
almost
supposed
easier
to
to
be.
hate the frat boys. I feel like the athletes aren't doing quite enough to make us hate them on the same level. Whereas
Yeah.
the frat boys, it's easy to hate them because the name. You hear frat and it's just like immediate throat punch.
Yeah, immediate vom. Vom. I get it. But we jump right into another women's match. We have Billy Starks versus returning Hyan. What do you know about Hyan?
Not a lot. But I know I've seen a few clips pop up on my Instagram feed of her with
Hmm.
various promotions that I follow and various people that I follow.
Hmm.
Very impressed with from what I saw. This was the first full match I remember. No, wait, I've seen one other match with her
Okay.
from back in the day. But yeah, this was my first time seeing her with I think someone who matched her in a full match for me. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with it. But you know what I had the most fun with? That little beginning part with Athena and Billy
Oh,
on the round.
yes.
Really building some more of their story there with Athena. Like Billy coming out, she looked happy. She looked ready to go. She looked like her peppy self. And then Athena, she grabbed a handful of her hair and really tore into her. You know, you better not lose. Don't mess this up.
Hmm.
If we saw a switch happen in Billy Starks in this match where she started out as her usual self and she just evolved into almost her little version of Athena
Hmm.
and was savage and vicious and just her hits felt 10 times harder and she felt 10 times meaner. It was phenomenal. It was terrifying, but also phenomenal because we've watched Billy Starks grow.
Thank
Not just
you.
in
Thank you, Kyle.
frat
Yep.
leads. Frat leads.
For rat leads. Are all frat guys athletes or are all athletes frat guys?
I know some athletes who aren't frat guys. So, but I don't know about the frat boys with the athletes, though. A lot of the frat boys that I've had the misfortune of knowing were athletes.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
Interessante.
I
Interessante.
don't know if I care enough to find out the information either.
Oh my gosh. But continue your thoughts on the Billy Starks match.
So there was one point where what did I write down here? Oh, there was something that Starks was trying to do on the ropes, but Hyan kind of just denied it and hung on to the ropes, which kind of forced that this is where that change, that aggression
Mm-hmm.
started to come out of Starks. And she ended up taking out the arms and hooking Hyan in a straitjacket, bridging German for two. Freaking cool. I love those things because I cannot bridge worth a ish. There was a rewind kick in the corner, which I really
Mm-hmm.
like, because usually when I see the rewind kick, it's usually like on a downed person on the floor in the middle of the ring kind of thing. So seeing it from the corner, I was like, that's cool. That's a different kind of vibe. There was a face breaker and a suplex um, by by Hyan on Starks, which looked really super cool. Um, There was one point where Starks was really pounding on the corner, or in the corner on Hyan, and I was like, this is the part where her evolution into Athena is kind of like completed there. She evolved. She leveled up in this match. It was a little scary. The electric chair bomb, I think is what they said, was the for the win there.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. I really, really enjoy the unique style that Starks has. And in combination with the work that Hyan has, it was very perfect. It was a really great showcase for both of these ladies, but especially for the level up of Billy Starks. I wonder where she'll put her points.
Yeah. I I'm interested to see where this goes. Billy should be champion by now. However, we have a Billy Starks that is fresh off of a loss from Harley Cameron. And well, Harley Cameron was in the match with Tony Storm, correct? This was the last. Well, I can't even think of what the last episode was, but Billy Starks is coming off a loss, which I know, and having Athena berate her continuously is an element to the story that I wasn't fully prepared for. But I think the more and more Billy Starks continued in this match, the longer and longer she got irritated. You know what I mean? Like, have you ever done a task and it, you know how long it usually takes you,
Mm-hmm.
but you're at like minute 3 and you're like, this should be over by now. And you
Yeah.
get more and more frustrated, which causes more and more, things to break down. And you're like, I'm going to quit right now. I need to leave. That I feel that almost every day. That's kind of how I felt like today, to be honest. But I every time that we see Hyan, I think that AEW and Ring of Honor would be stupid to not sign her, but they don't really use all the women they have signed right now. So yes, I would call the seating chart for PPW, and that's what's going to keep me up all night. No, good luck with that.
Yeah,
But
that's not ideal.
we do get Billy Starks putting Hyan in kind of like a reverse last ride kind of, I don't know, the dealie. It looks really cool. It looked different than what she usually has been doing. But pinning her for the 3 count and having Athena come back, right? Come back to the ring. Or no, Athena did not come back to the ring. But she didn't watch her win. She was telling her the whole time, hey, you need to win.
Mhm.
And now she's not even there to celebrate with her, which is another bow to tie here. So we'll see as this progresses. I know that they had mentioned briefly that we have a Ring of Honor pay-per-view coming up. There's no location, there's no specifics, but we're just mentioning things on commentary for the for the hell of it.
Well, that's some AEW stuff, isn't it?
What do you know? What do you know?
I wish less.
Yeah, well, Super Card of Honor is usually in April. They haven't announced
Getting down to it,
anything.
guys. Getting down to it.
We'll see what happens. It's usually during what is it called? What's the WWE pay-per-view? Yes, WrestleMania. Thank you. Let's gamble it takes place on Friday, April 19th, WrestleMania weekend.
Oh my god. If they wait too long, though, because isn't that like a super busy weekend? Dozens of promotions running shows in that area that weekend.
You would
Don't you
think, and
need to
if it's going to
book
be
the
in
venue?
Vegas, there's not
Right?
only so many Vegas venues.
Right? And like, you know,
They've had a lot
where are
of
they going to get the
they've had a
venue?
lot
How
of
are they going to get people
shows
there?
at Sam's Town, which I know is big for New Japan when they go there as well. So, but it's not like Sam's Town is not. It's not like on the strip, from what I know. Unless I'm totally talking out of my ass, but we will see.
I haven't been to Vegas in a while. They've demolished some of the buildings that were still operational when I was there last.
Oh, I don't like that. All right. Well, speaking of demolish, we have a Ring of Honor World Television title match. Commander coming out on top versus Lee Johnson. I'm interested to what you think of this match, because you're kind of seeing this World Television title actually being like displayed how it should week after week, because Commander's been on it. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me your feelings.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he's the only champion I've seen consistently on this show. So as far as I'm concerned, he's the champion. He's your world champion. Because where's the world champion? We didn't even get a stupid Espanol promotion from him this week. Got nothing. Nothing. I had so much fun with this match. The story they told with the ankle, and the guys at the ringside, the hype man. I always miss his name. They say it so quickly on
Alex Abrahantes.
Okay, Alex explains why it's on his handle. Okay, yes, okay. Induka. Holy heck.
Oh, EJ Naduka is the other guy. Yeah.
Yeah. The two of them at ringside were just the perfect managers for this, because they didn't take away from the action that was happening in the ring. They enhanced it, which is surprisingly hard to do. actually, if you don't know how to do it properly. These two were so good. It helped the story flow so nicely. There was the spot in the ropes where Commander went to do the head scissors,
Hmm.
but it was like him flipping, he was back flipping over the rope to the apron to do the head scissor. That was the only part of the match where I was like, what you
What
do?
you doing there?
Like the slowest flip over to the apron I think I've ever seen. I'm like, dude, you're a lucha. Pick it up a little bit. And because
Yeah.
did, even with that ankle injury, he kept going. Even
Hmm.
throwing the boot. Who throws a shoe?
Who? Well,
He
Tony
does.
Storm.
I mean,
Yeah.
uh, but I had so much fun with this match, and I'm sitting here like, I'm sorry, people were sleeping on Lee Johnson up to this point? Are you
I'm
crazy?
well, Lee Johnson's been kind of one of those started as enhancement talent during the pandemic era and has just gradually gotten better. He's gotten some really great matches against the pure champion. He's very great. Um,
Yeah.
he's going to be fantastic if he keeps going.
Mhm.
But
100%. 100%.
mhm. Well, I think this match was a lot of fun.
Mhm.
I like when we have championship matches on our shows. They feel important. Now, if they ever change the title hands on Ring of Honor television, that'll be a sight to see, Tony Khan. But Lee Johnson was the second man to take Commander to a proving ground draw to earn a shot at the Ring of Honor title. So Commander, I feel like it's been utilized enough. This proving ground thing, we're getting the hang of it. Don't fall at the wayside there, Tony Khan. Um, but I don't know. I was hopeful for Lee Johnson, but I didn't think that it was going to happen. Where Commander is entering his fourth title defense for this championship right now. But we're seeing him week after week after week on these shows, which is exactly what your television champion should be doing. I don't know why I'm yawning, guys. I am so tired. I'm so sorry. Um, but the back and forth between the two, Commander is doing his lucha shit, which pops me every time. I love seeing interactions outside of the ring as well as inside of the ring. But yeah, the angle of the ankle where he's unlacing the boots and Alex Abrahende is trying to go through quickly while Lee Johnson is gaining momentum. And the moment he takes the boot off, I'm like, oh God, this is going to be it. Lee Johnson's going to win. He does a couple, big drop kicks, spinning Commander in the air. There's the reverse power bomb. And then the momentum just kept picking up during this match, which I truly enjoy seeing. I think that's something that Lee Johnson does excel with as well. But in the end, it did come down to who was going to get their moves in first, right? Their finishers in first. And Commander on one foot, he set up his finisher on a hurt ankle and they got the 1, 2, 3, and the title stayed with him. Hey, I'm in good company here.
Thirds.
Yes.
2/3 showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's killer match. Probably my favorite match of the show. But We go into a squash match, if there ever was one. The Gates of Agony, not waiting for the bell, completely defeating people I had to look up online who their name was, of Warren J and Zach Zilla. You have any thoughts?
Those aren't
about
even
this?
the names that I go.
What names did you get?
I was desperately listening to the commentary back to sec because I watched this twice to
Yeah.
try to figure out who these poor souls were. I guess not even close to what you have.
Oh my god.
I got Josiah Jean and Xavier Prime.
Oh no. Well, whoever they weren't here long enough for us to even be acquainted with them. We get this really great, long, thorough match, and the Gates of Agony come in, tear through, don't even let the other team be introduced, barrel them down, and they didn't even really wait till the bell rang. That was it. And they just crushed them and pinned them, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot more to say. Like,
Yeah.
what can you add to that? It
Yeah.
disappoints me because when I saw them for New Japan, they did so much better. There was like little micro stories being told. They were doing the same wrecking ball stuff, but there was just more work being done behind it to, even though they were only there for the tournament time, which I think was only about 2 or 3 weeks, they
Yeah.
still did very, very good over there. So when I saw them pop up here and I saw that they were going to be on here and I'm going to be watching this, I'm like, yeah, right on.
We're gonna get a
This is
solid match, and yet
every single time I see them, this is what I'm getting. And where I get that there's a point to be made, there's a point in time where making the point becomes redundant, and we've well past that point with these guys, and I've only watched it for a few episodes.
yeah.
We need to get on with it and evolve these guys into what it is that you are wanting them to be, unless the whole Sons of Texas having the tag titles is what the problem is. Then let's deal with that quickly and give these guys what it is they're supposed to be doing, because we're at a point where if they keep doing these squashes, they run the risk of getting boring. And then them trying to go after the tag titles isn't going to make sense.
Ding, 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 ding. You have a winner, baby.
Yay, Gold Star Melball.
Yeah, you are a gold star for serious, because that's just been our issue this whole time, is that none of this seems important. And that's what they're telling me, is that it doesn't matter. But I want it to
Why put it
matter.
on there? Why put it on the television? Why give it to our viewing ability if it's not going to matter? Give us something good. Don't just, because it feels, I hate saying it, but remember how like there was that era when Vince was struggling to accept that he needed to modernize the company, the WWE, a little bit, and it was just him saying essentially, just shut up and watch the product and be happy you're watching the product. Sometimes it feels like that's what's being said here. And I don't like that, because it's like, no, I pay you so that you give me what I at least can be entertained by.
Yeah.
And where it is entertaining to see these two, because I know they can be, again, much better in-ring competitors. It's like, again, getting a little yawny, little
I feel it.
ha.
Well, I didn't need another match to let us know that the Gates of Agony are a devastating tag team. But it's a weird thing to lead right into our main event, which interesting cast of characters. You have Barbaro Cavanario.
Barbaro Carvanaro, I think is what they were saying. Carvanaro, but I remembered him as Barbario Carvanario.
Barbar. I can't speak. Oh no. Hechicero is here, and Soberano
Soberano. Yeah,
Junior
He's
versus
my favorite.
Dark Panther Fuego, which is the older Fuego, the CMLL Fuego, and the Ring of Honor, one half of the world tag team champions, Sammy Guevara. And guess who's their stolen title, MXM. They're not in the match.
No.
But they are
But they're
watching.
present.
What do you think of this main event?
So I got very excited because when I feel like having a goofy thing where I don't understand what's going on and just having a good time, I either watch CMLL or I watch DDT because it's just chaos, but it's fun chaos. So like Hechicero, Soberano Jr., Cavanario, I watch them quite regularly. I love Soberano Jr. His style is very fun, very, as you could see from the match, he's very, very lucha, but he's surprisingly quick. I had so much fun though because aforementioned team, Hechicero, Soberano Jr., and Carbonario, they hit one of my favorite moves in professional wrestling and then made it better. I didn't know that was possible, but they set, I believe it was Fuego. I didn't write with who, but I believe it was Fuego. They set them up in what I call a dingle dangle, which is, I believe, yeah, Munson got it in the chat before I even said it. They got him in the dingle dangle and then hit him with a leg drop while he was in the dingle dangle. So if you don't know what a dingle dangle is, I think it's a hanging Billy Goat's curse. So that was where he's like got you in a bridge essentially holding your hands and he's just rocking you back and forth. You essentially become the guy's scrotum. And I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's a fun move. The best move though is done by Big Tito, where he pumps the head of the person into another region. It's fun. Anyway, I had a lot of fun with this because I do enjoy the lucha kind of styling. Again, something that I need a taste for. I didn't mind this match. It certainly was a great show off for the luchas. I'm not gonna lie though, there was one point in time I forgot Sammy was even in this match. He like disappeared at the beginning, and when he came back at the end, I was like, "Oh, Rins, you were there." So there was one point where Carbonario did the commentary called it a sandlot suplex, where the essentially they were face to face. Sammy was essentially straddling him, and he just took him from the straddle over into the suplex. And then he did the boom springboard plancha, which I heard commentary called it Neanderthal plancha, which I thought was hilarious.
Oh my goodness.
And then the worm into the lariat in the corner. He's very comedic for how good he is in the ring as well. Like he does this goofy kind of gimmick with the caveman thing. He even comes in sometimes dressed as Fred Flintstone. Like it's a joy to watch, but then he's also surprisingly strong and very, very, very well educated in the in-ring lucha style. So I enjoyed watching this match just because I felt like those three in particular got the biggest showcase for this main event. And then on top of that, the story building with it, I always forget their name. Is it M2M on the outside?
Hmm.
Guys who stole the other
The
tag title?
MXM, yes.
MXF. Um, I enjoyed that there was that sub story being told, as well as just the action kind of happening in the ring. Kind of
Hmm.
rounded everything off for me really nicely.
Hmm.
Um, Curious as to where Dustin is in all this.
Where is Dustin? Where is Dustin? That's literally in my notes. Where's Dustin? He wasn't there for
Yeah.
his boys in the tag match, the 12-man tag Insanity. What?
Hmm.
What? Where is he here?
Yeah. So, yeah, where is he? El Dustin, where are you? Part of being a champion means you got to show up once in a while. Or is that not part of the thing? Is that not part of the
Apparently.
package
Apparently
with
not.
AEW and affiliates? I don't know. I don't know. But
Apparently that's
it's
not as
odd because
common.
it slows down the progression of the story. It almost drags it out unnecessarily with him not being there. Because, like, they could have actually progressed something a little bit more with him being here. But it just kind of felt, and it's kind of been feeling like Sammy's kind of expected to carry this whole story on his shoulder by himself. And it's like, well, then put the title on someone else who's going to help him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tag title, not a singles title.
Ding, ding,
Understand?
ding, ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding.
Yay, my gold stars.
Uh, well, this main event was fun. It had lucha rules. It had a subplot. It had Sammy Guevara kind of looking at a place with how well these other wrestlers, even I gotta see how old is Fuego. The original Fuego.
Did you say he was in his 40s?
Let me see. 43 years old.
Jesus, you wouldn't know it from how he moves.
The gear, fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I love the little tassels. Came to the ring, loved everything about it. So you have all of the, and I don't think there's any mistake that a lot of these luchadors wrestle up until the day that they pass away. Like they
Mm-hmm.
are one foot into the grave, the other foot is wrestling lucha because they are
Mm-hmm.
insane. I don't know what they're doing, I don't know what they're feeding each other, but you know what? More of it
Tacos.
because it's insane. They can still go.
Yeah.
I digress. This match was really great, and everyone seemed to go around Sammy Guevara. The MXM collection being on the outside, still with that stolen belt, even though they lost, which means everything is not finished. But we'll see. We'll see. I think Fuego was probably my favorite person in this match. Just the way that he ran the ropes, B did the stuff that is lucha-y, and when there was that triple face buster into like a something else, all three, like the magic of tag team wrestling was right there. Fuego with Hechicero, them just doing dueling sentons to each other's and flips. The crowd was
Mm-hmm.
into it. I was into it. It was a fantastic showdown. If you like lucha wrestling, this is a really fun main event for you. This I could see on an AEW like 0 hour, but I mean, for a main event of Ring of Honor, if this means more, if this means more, I'm into it. So, uh, but in the end, we get Fuego um, landing himself into Hechicero's trap submission rolling into a head leg lock. Fuego used the momentum and strength into reversal to get that 3 count, which I thought was, considering Hechicero is so much bigger than everyone else. But interesting that they let Fuego get the pin there. But at the end, we get MXM being shenanigansy. And for some reason, they said, we can't let someone who doesn't go here have the last say. No. They have to play Sammy Guevara's stupid music. And MXM tried to take out Sammy Guevara. Fuego and the other guy, I did not rate his name.
Dark Panther.
That's okay. But they came to Sammy Guevara's rescue. Sammy Guevara and all of them grabbed Mansoor away from Mason Madden. And guess what? Mansoor ate a very interesting looking GTH. But Madden and Mansoor ran away. Hilarious fashion. Beautiful. I can't even play right now. I just need your tag belts off the Sons of Texas.
Yeah. They're not doing anything functional for those titles. Part of being a champion is elevating the championship. And there's no elevation. There's attempts. You can see it from Sammy. He is ready and raring to go. I feel like it's Dustin that's kind of been like slowing it down a little bit. And where I do kind of see, the slow and steady wins the race. There's gotta be more speed. We can pick it up a little bit there, my dude.
I don't know where we go from this. I don't know how or which tag team they're going to face against. But if we're looking at demographics of what is over, what is selling your merch, it's your outrunners. And if you want people to be on and watching Ring of Honor, why not have the outrunners as your champions?
Exactly. Because they are on AEW quite regularly also, right?
True, yes.
And they could bring the titles there, show them off. Hopefully that'll make people go, ooh, shiny, where'd that come from?
Exactly. Well, all in all, what'd you think of this show? I know that you mentioned it in the beginning, but
I had a good time with this. It was actually one of the more solid ones that I've seen since starting to watch this, and I was very happy with how it flowed, with how the matches went. It was just that one multi-tag match that was just like, ugh, it was a little iffy. But all in all, I had a really, really good time with this show tonight.
same. It was good, but I think I was annoyed by the things that weighed it down. But we're gearing towards something, and they've casually mentioned it now on the commentary, so we'll see. But all right, well, Melball, where can we find you?
If you're wanting to follow a Melball, you can find me on that Twitter thing at Collins Melball. You can find me on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Mastodon, Blue Sky at Melball Collins. You can also find me on my YouTube channel, Andre Melball Wrestling Talk, where we talk about New Japan, Stardom, Marigold, Noah, and all the Alberta local wrestling that we take in. So go check that out. You can also catch me on our local establishment here on Friday, tomorrow, where we're doing Japanese Wrestling Update again with Andre. He's kind of like my little brother in crime when we go around and disturb shit. And you can also catch me on Monday with that beauty when we do women's classic wrestling along with Astrid Pizzorro.
I'm
What
into
else?
it.
That's it. That's it. I got a lot going on.
You do. Well, I also have a lot going on. You can follow me everywhere there is social media _queer auntie. I feel a little bit a scattered brain, but we'll come back to our planets shortly. I stream Thursdays through Mondays. I'll be back here on our local establishment for the Mother Talking Post show with my other co-host, Jose on Air. Sunday, I'm over at Fightful Overbooked. We are talking about how wrestling made us cry. This last week, I actually cried on the show, which was pretty fantastic. And Mondays, I'm back here on our local establishment talking about how women's wrestling matters. We are starting the Mae Young Classic Season 2, so you might want to come join us for that. But we're busy over here. Hi, hello. This is our local establishment. This is the place you want to be for content of wrestling and other entities as well. We just had Marvel talk. We're doing all the kinds of things in and around this place. There's a show on every week, as we mentioned. You're going to want to come hang out tomorrow. I'll probably be in the chat hanging out with Melball and Andre for the Japanese wrestling update. But we're trying to get our numbers up over on the Blue Sky. So if you want to follow us over on Blue Sky, I've been following people right on back. So jump in there. Put that bell notification on so you know when we are going live. Like this video if you haven't already. And tell us how pretty we are. I think that's a win-win right there. And if you don't like it, tell us how pretty we are.
Exactly. I like these instructions.
I think that all in all, this is a great show. We do miss Kyle. So Kyle, if you're out there, we love you, we miss you, and we hope you're having a great time. But that said, thanks, Bobby. Great to see you're on board with us. Well, women of honor. See? Women of honor. We got it. Well, like all of our friends have said, happy wrestling. Bye.